On a trip to USP Alcatraz, overnight visit as Josh and Tanis. Today is Wednesday, 4 March 2026. It's one of my weekend Wednesdays, which is a Wednesday I treat as a weekend day. I treated this past Saturday as a weekday, so this is a weekend day, and was like, here's musing about prison settings meets broaching soulmate residency and ruminating about surnames. So here I, Tanis Shearhurst of Seattle, ponder about a trip to United States Penitentiary Alcatraz, USP Alcatraz, specifically in regards to an overnight visit as Josh and Tanis. So when I was growing up, there was a movie, The Rock, with Sean Connery and Nicolas Cage, and they have like, you know, there's setup operations on the Rock, which is what they term Alcatraz. It's an island, a very small little island with a prison on it and prison buildings, and United States Penitentiary Alcatraz. And I was like, it'd be so cool. I remember at the time I was like looking into it, and like you can go to Alcatraz, which I've done, but there's also like spent overnight at Alcatraz, so you actually like, per what I've seen and read and stuff like that, you can actually like spend the night in one of the cells in Alcatraz. And I'm like, oh, but that would be so cool. And so, you know, that was like over 20 years ago. Was it over 30 years ago? No, over 20 years ago, something like that. And it'd be so cool to do with a soulmate. So you know, moving in with my Josh, is that something we just like, you know, we share an interest in. And it's like, he lived in Scotland. He's Scottish. My Scottish hamster, one of my Scottish hamsters. And I lived in Hawaii. And so we both have experience living on an island. And so it'd be really cool to go with him. And we would both have experience living on an island. But like Alcatraz Island is like, it's like just the prison, you know, so it's a really small island. So it's like, how does it compare to our, like, each of our residency histories of having lived on an island? But then it's also really cool, like, if I were to serve a prison sentence, as I've talked about previously on the channel, it'd be cool to have, if you know, we were lucky, perhaps that's a good term, we would get this trip in, like, maybe we talk about it when we're moving, me in with him, because we want to get it done in case I do serve a prison sentence, so we could do a before prison sentence overnight, and then if we're lucky again, do an overnight after prison sentence. And if I served like my prison sentence, say at a place that's inland, so not on a really small little island, it'd be cool to have those data points of like, how did I feel spending a night at Alcatraz before my own prison sentence and then after? And like, is it really that different sleeping on a tiny little island? Because you're in a cell without like, especially if it's like, you know, a cell without a view, or yeah, and like, well, if there's no view, is it even different? Like, does it even feel different? Does the fact that like, it can't escape like by just running a mile or two, you know, actually factor into the sleeping overnight at the pure prison experience. So this is a fun one. This is one like shared interests, and like he shows up to me and we just talk about going to Alcatraz, and this is one of those, and it may make a part of a multi-day mini-stop road trip to and from the San Francisco Bay Area, and maybe put an emphasis on like, since it is a small island and it's a boat access to the island, it'd be like, maybe we find like a boat, a nautical museum or something, or we go on a small boat tour, or we go like to Fisherman's Wharf, or, you know, find some good seafood that we can eat. Like, we're both Scottish by ancestral origins. We like some good fish and chips, you know, that kind of thing. So that's on a trip to USP Alcatraz overnight visit as Josh and Tanis.